Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to all
Good morning,
students.
sir.
What the problem we have done yesterday? Let us go with the problems. We have done a few problems. Which is the last problem and page number is what the page number? Yeah. Okay. Which problem we have done now, students? First one we have done. So right. Okay, so third one, let us see that then. Third one, third, sixth, seventh, like this. Next, the similar problems we will should solve this. So therefore, what's the third question? See that three metal rods of same length and same cross-sectional area are connected in parallel. If their conductivities are 70, 110, 180 SI units respectively, the effective conductivity of the combination. So this is the simple one. Means now the two rods they have taken the parallel rods. Okay, identical energy, but the thermal conductivities are different. So therefore, let us see this one. So okay, so this is also area A, this is also area A, this is also area A. Each are having same length L. This is a thermal conductivity K1 and this is a thermal conductivity K2. This is a thermal conductivity K3. They have given a values also K1, K2, K3. Okay, each of the same length and same area of cross section. What is the equivalent thermal conductivity of the combination? So then yesterday we have derived what is this K is equals to K1 A1 plus K2 A2 divided by A1 plus A2. No, we got a parallel combination. So for two rods, for three rods are there means then I can write K3 upon A1 plus A2 plus A3 we can write. So therefore K is equals to, let it be K1A plus K2A plus K3A upon A1 plus A2 plus A3 means we can write 3A. So if A is taken out in the numerator and cancels with the denominator, then we will get K is equals to K1 plus K2 plus K3 upon so therefore K is equal, what's the value of K1, K2, K3? They have given 70, 110 and 180. So therefore 70 plus 110 plus 180 upon the calculate its value. Yeah, that's right.
120, sir.
Yeah, so that's equals to K is equals to 120 SI units because K1, K2, K3 are in SI units only. So simple students, yesterday we have done the same thing with the two rods. They have asked if three rods are connected parallel, each length and area of cross sections are same. So if the lengths are same, then this is the formula. Even here, area of cross sections are same means we can transform it to this. A1 equal to A2 equal to A3, let it be A. That is value substituted and calculation. We got this. That's it. Okay, so next fifth one, let us see fifth to sixth. Then after this completed guys, fifth one after this.
Yes.
Yeah. So just have a look on the question number fifth. Okay, so what the question means, just try to understand the question. No? So first let me read properly. One end of a cylindrical rod is kept in a steam chamber. Other end is in melting ice. 0.5 gram of ice is melts in 1 second. 0.5 gram of ice is melts in 1 second. What is the amount of ice that melts? dm upon dt, that's equal to 0.5 gram per second. The mass that will melt, what is the rate of mass that ice is melting means for every second 0.5 gram of ice is converted into water. They have given that. Now this rod is replaced by another rod whose diameter is half, nothing but radius is half. And same length, thermal conductivity is 2K. Now what is the how much amount of ice that will be melted here per second? Earlier, there is a rod which connects the steam chamber and ice. So here, 0.5 gram of ice is melted for every second due to the transmission of the heat from the steam chamber to this ice through this rod. Now this rod is replaced by another one whose thermal conductivity is 2 times that of earlier one, and radius will be half of that of earlier, and length will be same. Now, what is the how much amount of the ice will melt per second? That is they're asking this. So once we can observe this dq by dt, what can I write? Observe clearly, students. So dq upon dt, that's equals to I can write delta theta by r, or else I can write ka into delta theta by some length L, correct? How can I write dq means already I told that we have two formulas, dq that's equals to ms into d theta, or dq that's equals to m into L relation to. Which formula I am supposed to use in this relation, either this one or this one? First one.
First one, sir.
First one we need to use. When to use second one?
Changing matter.
Speak up, then we will correct it if there is a wrong. When to use second one?
Sir, when there is a change in matter.
So here it is, changing matter is happening or not?
No, sir.
Which formula we are supposed to use? Ice is melting into water, no? The temperature of the steam is constant, temperature of the ice is also constant, just ice is melting
The
into
second formula, sir.
second formula we are supposed to use. Okay, so that's why to avoid the confusion, everywhere when we are getting this, I am writing these two formulas. When to use this formula means when the temperature of the substance is either increases or decreases, then we can use that heat evolved or heat absorbed is this one. When phase of matter is going to be changes means then we can write dq that's equals to m into L. That's the thing. Got it? No? Clear? Huh? Now it is at least. So therefore dq according to this here by absorbing the heat what is that? So for example how much amount of the heat will be transferred by absorbing that heat this ice is converting into liquid. Hence the heat supplied or heat transferred dq that's equals m into L. Then I can write or else here we can write dq equal product of mass into L. So then I can write dm into L by dt that's equals to K into delta theta by L. So therefore dm by dt that's equals to K into delta theta divided by small l into. So hence the temperature difference is constant, relation heat of ice is constant, length of the two rods are same. Then I can write on what factors this dm by dt, the mass of the ice melt per second will depend upon means dm upon dt is directly proportional to K into A. Or else I can still we can further dm upon dt is directly proportional to K into area can be written as pi r square. Then I can write K into r square. Okay, na? Now, how can we write means observe this one dm by dt of first rod to the dm divided by dt of the second rod that's equals to dm by dt of the first rod means that is equal to k r square. Then I can write k1 by k2 into r1 upon r2 whole square. Then we can write dm by dt across the first rod divided by dm by dt across the second one that's equals to k1 means let it be k, k2 means let it be 2k, r1 means r, r2 means I can write r by 2 whole square. This k gets cancelled. Finally, what we can write here 1 by 2 will be left. 2 will come into numerator. 2 square means we can write 4. So that implies dm by dt of the first rod upon dm by dt of the second rod that's equals to 2. Then I can write dm by dt of the second rod that's equals to dm by dt of the first rod divided by 1. So therefore I can write dm upon dt of the second rod that's equals to here rate of what is the dm by dt of the first rod means 0.5 gram. Then I can write 0.5 divided by 2 gram per second. 0.5 divided by 2 means how can I write 0.25 gram per second. In second case 0.25 gram per second will melt for every second. Is there an option? Yes, sir. Yeah. So students, just have a look on this. This one, what they have asked, understand the question. The solution is not no problem. Understand the question first. What they are asking that a rod is clamped between the steam and ice chamber, whose length is L and whose radius is R, and the coefficient of thermal conductivity of the material of the rod is K. Now, for a 0.5 gram of ice is melted for every second due to the transmission of the heat flow. Now, if the rod is replaced by removed and it is replaced by another rod, which is of same length but radius is half, nothing but diameter is nothing but radius. You can take that. Radius is half and thermal conductivity is 2 times that of the earlier one. Now, how much amount of ice that will melt for every second in this case? This is about the case one first. Okay, so this is about case one, and this is about case two. Okay. So therefore, here it is. What is the dq by dt formula? Rate of heat that's equals to I can write dq by dt. which formula you need to use dq means, remember student, once again I am telling that if the temperature of the substance is either increases or decreases, then heat absorbed or heat given out can be calculated by using this formula dq equal to ms d theta. Okay, so therefore m is mass, s is specifically, d theta is the rise or fall in temperature. Whenever the phase of matter is going to be changes, it means that one phase of matter is going to be changing another phase. On such case, dq equals to, I can write m into dl, product of mass into dl. So let dm, amount of the ice is melts into dt seconds, then dm by dt is nothing but rate of mass. So that's why dq equal to the product of mass of ice melts into relation heat dm into L by dt. dm by dt equal to this. Among this, what are constant means, except this k and a, all are constants. When the rod is replaced, also temperature difference is same. Steam is at 100 degrees centigrade, ice is at 0 degrees centigrade. Latent heat of ice is constant, and length of the two rods are same. Means on what factors this dm by dt depends. Dm by dt depends upon purely k and a. So therefore, a is equal to, I can write a is equal to, I can write pi r square. So therefore, according to this, anyway pi is constant. That's why dm by dt is directly proportional to k r square. So therefore, dm by dt rate mass of the ice melts per second across the first rod to the mass of the ice melts per second across the second rod equal according to this. Substituted the values with proper calculation, I got this 0.25. So hence half of the mass that will melt per second across the first case. Okay, got it?
The camera, sir, that side. Sir, no, sir. Towards the right.
Okay. So is this clear, all of you students?
Clear, sir.
Abhay, other students also there. Students, please respond if we are asked. Who was there online?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in the answer key, they have given the 2 grams the correct answer.
2 grams.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Zero 0.5 gram of ice. Now the rod is in another rod of same length, half the diameter, double the conductivity of the first rod. 0.2. So good calculation. This is correct only. No, we got. I don't think so. This is wrong. Calculation is also correct. Check it once. Equal now the rod is replaced by another rod of same length, means the first one is removed and second rod is fixed, clamped, which is the same length, half the diameter and double the conductivity of the first rod. Then the rate of melting of ice.
Sir, that another rod will have different K value, no, sir?
That's why double, no, that's why we have taken 2K, that's why.
Okay, sir.
We have taken 2K according to the problem, double the conductivity, that's why we have taken, this is K, this will be 2K double. And half the radius means here radius is R, then here the radius will be R by 2, length is the same, L is the same. So, also check that what way we are trying to solve. Only have no options. No money. Yeah, so same thing only. Even we learn the same thing. 0.5 by m2. So then R square so correct 0.25 correct. 0.25 is correct, no problem. Okay, you can check the calculation also. This is correct only. Please copy this. Finish it,
Yes, sir.
student. Yeah, ask.
I think sir, finished.
So here, if you want, we can write mass of ice melt per second. dm by dt equals to, we can write it. If you want, you can write dq, that is equals to dm into L, product of mass into relation heat. This is also m into L. When m mass of ice is melts or m mass of water is converted into steam. Here dm amount of the mass is melts and dt amount of the time means dm by dt, that is equal to 0.5. Based on this, we have. Next, after that, the sixth question. See that question number 6. So just go through the question number 6 once carefully, students. Okay, so what they have given in question number 6. So write 2 plates, each of area A, thickness L, comma 2L, and thermal conductivity is 2K, comma 3K, are joined to form a single plate of thickness 3L. If the temperatures of the free surfaces are theta and 3 theta, assume the temperature of the junction. Theta and 2 theta, assume the temperature of the junction. I think we have derived a formula also to find the temperature of the junction. So it is similar to that only. Students, temperature of the junction to find in series combination, we have derived the formula also. Substitute that values theta 1, k1, l1 values in that, we will get the temperature of the junction. Please copy the formula there. So what they have given that, so this is about the 2 rods. Okay, so here this is 2K of thermal conductivity, this is of leakage. So here theta 1 is equal to theta, and here theta 2 is equal to 3 theta. Okay. So theta 1 equals to 3 theta, and length is L, comma 2L. This is of length L, this is of length 2L. Then they are asking theta J. Okay, theta J stands for temperature of the junction. What is the formula to calculate the theta J amount? Already we have given. Theta J is equal to temperature of junction. Theta J. If not, students remember that. If you didn't remember the formula, so no need to worry about it. Okay, so no need to worry about it. We will go for the same method also. Just have a look. How these two are in series or parallel? Series. No, in series combination, what must be same?
Heat supply.
Yes, rate of heat. Yeah. So heat flow per second will be same. That's why I can write H1 is equal to H2. H1 equal to what can I write? H that is equals to, I can write delta theta divided by R1, that's equals to delta theta divided by R2. Then delta theta means the temperature difference across the first one, and here it is this is theta, this is 2 theta. Okay. So therefore, I can write 2 theta minus theta j divided by R1 means L upon area of cross sections are they given. Each of area A means L by here thermal conductivity is 2K into A is equals to what is the delta theta of the first second rod means here I can write theta j minus theta divided by L divided by here L not 2L divided by 3KA. So therefore this L by Ka, this L by Ka gets cancelled. Finally, what we will get here 2 theta minus theta j into 2. 2 into 2 theta minus theta j is equals to 3 of theta j minus theta divided by 2. Cross multiplying that 2 into 2 become 4. Multiplying with the 4 2s are 8. 8 theta minus 4 theta j, that's equals to 3 theta j minus 3 theta. So if it is taken this side and this is taken that side, then 11 theta, that's equals to 7 theta j. That implies theta j is equals to 11 theta plus 7. Is there an option? No. 10 theta by 7.
Yes, sir.
Sir, that's 2 units also.
Which one?
Sir, 2k into 2 theta minus theta j, no, sir.
2k into
Sir, here. Sir, there we have cancelled only L by A, no, sir.
L by A only.
Here we have not taken k, no, sir.
Now kk also gets cancelled, no, because L by k gets cancelled. This is 2 theta minus theta j. This 2 will come into numerator. That's why I got this. Here 3 will come into denominator, numerator. That's why we got this. And if this 2 is taken this side, 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. 8 theta minus 4 theta j, that's equals to 3 theta. This one 8 theta plus theta. Which option they have given? Third means 10 theta by 7. Assume that the temperature of the junction, assume that steady state heat transfer. Check it, is there any calculation mistakes?
Reverse. Theta, 2
Temperature of the
P surfaces is theta 2
yeah, that might be possible. Yes. Yeah. So actually, this is nothing but the theta, and this is nothing but what? 2 theta. So heat is transferring in this direction. We have insisted to heat transferring along this direction. That's why we have reversed the directions. Understand this one? They have given the order theta and 2 theta. Now we have taken 2 theta and theta. Okay, so now we can make this direction less easy. So then here it is. So from here to here, heat is flowing means what is the rate of heat to this rod? Theta j minus theta j equals to, here it is 2 theta minus theta j. Okay, L by k gets cancelled. Now if we are so this 2 means 2 of theta j minus theta, that's equals to 3 of 2 theta minus theta j divided by 2. 2 2s are, we can write 4. So that implies 4 theta j minus 4 theta, that's equals to 6 theta, okay, minus 3 theta j. So this minus 4 theta is taken this side, and this minus 3 theta j is taken this side, and we will get 7 theta j, that's equals to 10 theta. That implies theta j is equals to 10 theta divided by 7. So that is about the options. So students, remember this temperature of the junction formula. If you are not remembered, no need to worry about it. In series combination under steady state, rate of heat to the first rod must be equal rate of heat to the second rod. That must be equal rate of heat to the third rod. We can equate the rate of heat in steady state when conductors are connected in series. So therefore, rate of heat to the first rod is equal rate of heat to the second rod. Rate of heat formula is equal to what? So then rate of heat is equal to,
if we apply junction
will come. And that's what. If that formula is not remembered, no need to worry about it. We can apply this method, rate of heat, by equating that. There we will get the temperature of the junction. Understood? Got it, student? Online people.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. That's fine. So, okay. So, right, the similar models, we can do this. Coming to the 12th one, let us see 12th one. Okay, 12th one. The remaining all is based on that only. 12th one, let us see. 12th one. Okay, 12th one. What is the 12th one? See that two rods, one is the semicircular and other straight of same material. Same material in the sense, students, what we have to understand. Same material means
Same.
same. Hmm.
Same.
Same substances. Okay, specific heats are same. Next,
Correct. Case.
the thermal conductivities are same, densities are same. Okay, so here we are speak about the thermal conductivities. That's why those are same. So then what they have means joined as shown in the figure. The points A and B are maintained at a temperature maintained at different temperature. Find the ratio of heat transferred through the cross section of a semicircular rod to the heat transferred through a cross section of the striped wire. So therefore, one is semicircle made of the same material are joined. Therefore, what they're asking, let me draw the diagram first. So this is also made of the material whose thermal conductivity K, whose thermal conductivity is K. This is the end A, this is the end B. The end A is maintained at the temperature theta A, the end B is maintained at the temperature theta B. So let some amount of the heat will flow along this direction and some amount of the heat will flow along this direction. Okay, so therefore what they are asking that the ratio of heat transferred to the cross section of this wire and this wire. So for example, let this is H1 and this is H2 means rate of heat. So then what will be the H1 upon H2 is equals to, or else ratio of heat transferred to the cross section of a straight transferred to the semicircular rod. Ratio of heat transfer to the cross section of a semicircular rod means semicircular rod first. H2 upon H1 is equal to how much? This is the question they are asking. Okay, so understand, listen, read the question carefully. These are two rods, okay, one semicircular and straight, two rods of same material and same cross sectional area. Area of this cross section is same, area of this is also same, let it be A. This is also A. Okay, this is also A. So then what they have given, this is transferred through, then heat transferred through this one. So then length, so we don't know that. No? Length. Yeah. Here you can take, this is L and this is nothing but what? pi r only. That is nothing but else pi r we can write. Okay. So then what is the relation between this L and pi r? Radius of the semicircular coil, we don't know that. L by 2, then this will be nothing but L by length that is equals to here the semicircular means this is nothing but R. So then R is equals to I can write L divided by 2. So that implies pi R is equals to we can write pi L by 2. Got it? No? R is equals to L by 2. Hence, this is semicircular wire means from here to here, that is called radius, that will be equal to half of the L. Radius R equal to L by 2 means the length of the semicircular section, that will be pi R, it is half of the circumference. That R equal to L by 2 means pi R equal to pi L by 2. So then we can write the length L1 is equals to L, length L2 that is equals to pi L by 2. So then H2 equal to what can I write me? H2 that's equals to delta theta of AB divided by R2. H1 that's equals to I can write delta theta of AB divided by R1. So then H2 means heat transfer to this semicircular wire per second. H1 means heat transfer to this straight wire per second. So then H is equal to delta theta by R. So then H2 equal to delta theta by R2. Then R2 equal to what can I write? R2 that's equals to K2 into L2 by A, R1 that's equals to K1 into L1 by A1. So therefore they are asking that ratio H2 upon H1. So therefore H2 upon H1 means you did H2 upon H1. So then delta theta gets cancelled, then we will get R1 by R2. R1 means I can write K1 L1 divided by A1 upon K2 L2 divided by A2. So then we can write H2 by H1 that's equals to. So then I can write K1 upon K2 into L1 by L2 into A2 by A1 I can write. So in the problem only they told that areas are same, these areas gets cancelled and materials are made up of the same thing, then this is also gets cancelled. So that implies H2 by H1 that's equal to L1 by L2. So therefore L1 means what can I write? L1 that's equals to L divided by L2 means pi L by 2. That implies L gets cancelled. So therefore H2 upon H1 that's equals to 2 by 5. This is about option 2 by 5. So just to have a look on it, what they have given means students, they have given two rods, one is the straight one and one is the semicircular one, both are joined. This is 5 by 2, so let us check it. So this is the one of the end A, this is one of the other end B, which are maintained at some temperature difference. They are asking that what is the ratio of rate of heat to the semicircular wire to the rate of heat to this straight wire. So let L is the length of the straight section means what will be the length of the semicircular section whose radius is R means that will be equal half of the circumference by R. Then how can I write this R and L means observe clearly radius of the semicircular loop will be equal to half of the length L by 2, then I can write R equal to L by 2, then pi R equal to pi L by 2. So therefore rate of heat to the first rod will H2 that's equal to delta theta by R2, H1 equal to delta theta of the first rod AB because both the ends are common, AB is common for both the ends. So therefore delta theta of AB means temperature difference between the points A and B by R. R2 equal to K2 L2 by A2 I can write here, and R1 equal to K1 L1 by A1. So therefore if you write H2 by H1 means H2 by H1 stands for delta theta gets cancelled. So 1 by R2 upon 1 by R1 means R1 by R2 we will get. R1 by R2 means
R2 by R2 by.
check it also. H2 by H1 equals to this one divided by this one means This R1 will come into numerator. You can check it once.
Sir, 2 by pi is correct, sir.
2 by pi.
So the ratio of semicircle to the length of the rod.
That's not leaving that.
Sir, H2 is equal to semicircle.
H2 is semicircle.
Sir, L we cannot get.
Just a second, then your doubt will be clear. Okay, so therefore, H2 divided by H1 is equals to delta theta of AB divided by R2 divided by delta theta of AB divided by R1. This is gets cancelled. H2 by H1 that's equals to, we can write R1 upon R2. Okay. R2 equal to what can I write? R2 that's equals to, here I can write L2 divided by K2 A2 divided by L1 divided by K1 A1. So then I can write H2 upon H1 is equals to, so then here L2 by L1 is there. L2 divided by L1 is this K1 will come into numerator and K2 will come into denominator. Then I'll get K1 by K2 into A1 again. A1 will come into numerator. This will be come into denominator. A1 by A2. So therefore, in the problem, they told that area of cross sections are same. A1, A2 gets cancelled. Whereas the rods are made up of same material, thermal conductivities are same. K1, K2 gets cancelled. L2 by L1. L2 means we got pi L by 2. L1 equals to L means then I can write H2 by H1 that equals to pi L by 2 divided by L. This L gets cancelled, then we will get pi by 2. Check the answers, correct or not? We got an option. 2 by pi. Okay, so this is about the problem.
Sir, in solution part, they have given 2 by pi only, sir.
They have given 4 by pi.
2 by pi, sir.
But we got pi by 2, no?
So in options they have given pi by 2 and in solution they have given 4.
Heat transfer to the cross section of semicircular to the heat transfer to the. Okay, simple problem, no need to think that much. This is correct. Okay, so they may have given done ulta. Next, 14th one, 15th one, integration is required. That's why we'll see that during the revision time those problems. Let us see 16th one, then we can close the session. 16th one, last problem. 16th one, students. Is this completed, students? Okay, so then this is the problem they have asked. So listen, go through the question carefully. A cylinder of radius r made of the material of thermal conductivity K1 surrounded by a cylindrical shell of inner radius r, outer radius 2r, made of the material of thermal conductivity is K2. Made of the material of thermal conductivity is K2. The two ends of the combined system maintained at two different temperatures. There is no loss of heat across any cylindrical surface of the system in steady state. What is effective thermal conductivity? What it means that I think you know this is a cylindrical surface. Inside one cylindrical surface is there, which surrounded by another cylindrical surface whose inner radius is r and outer radius is 2r. Hence, this is one of the material whose thermal conductivity is K1, which is surrounded by another material whose thermal conductivity is K2. Whose thermal conductivity is K2. Now, there is no flow of heat in cylindrical surface. Heat will be flow along the axis of the cylinder. Then what will be the equivalent thermal conductivity? They are asking this. So then, how we have found this thermal conductivity by comparing with equivalent rod only. Okay, so then let us go there with the same thing here also. So let us compare with the equivalent rod. Okay, so this is what is an equivalent rod means. What is an effective area through which the heat is transferring? Effective area.
Okay.
No. So what is an effective area means till up to from this through this first surface some heat is transferring, no? Isn't it or not? Here onwards some heat is flowing like this, okay? And here onwards some heat is flowing like this. Hence, what is an effective area means effective area of the heat transfer will be heat transfer through this will be pi r square. Heat transfer through this will be pi 2r square minus r square, right? Understand this point. The effective area through which the heat will be transferred to the first rod will be pi r square. This is an area. The effective area through which the heat will be transferred to the second rod means the second rod area is this one, which was surrounded cylindrical. What is an effective area of the second rod through which the heat is transferred? Pi 2r square, 2r whole square minus pi r square. That is an effective area. So finally, till up to what distance the heat will be transferred means this is of radius nothing but this is of radius nothing but we will get 2r and whose the conductivity is k and whose length is also l. So this is also nothing but l. Okay. So therefore, this is our thermal resistance R1. This is our thermal resistance R2. And let R be an equivalent thermal resistance of these two are in parallel or series amounts. Parallel. In parallel combination, what can I write? 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So here R1 equal to R2 equal to listen carefully. R1 that's equal to what can I write? L1 divided by K1 A1. So that implies R1 that's equals to L divided by K1 into. What is an effective area across the first rod which transmits the heat means effective area will be nothing but pi r square. Got it? Next, similarly, R2 that's equals to L divided by K2 or L2. So that implies R2 that's equals to length is same divided by K2 into. What is an effective area heat will be transmitted to the second rod means second rod what is an area second rod means that is equals to pi of 2r square minus r square. Are you getting this guys? K2 into pi of 2r whole square minus r square. This is an effective area through which the heat will be transferred to the second rod. So students from not to here onwards it will be transferred. From the second rod here onwards it will be transferred. This is an effective area, cylindrical region, it will be transferred. That will be equivalent to area of this first one minus total area of this. Then that will give the heat net area of the heat transferred to the second rod. Then we will get here. So then R2 that's equals to L divided by K2 of pi 4r square minus r square means I can write
3r square.
r square. So this is about this. And similarly, what is an equivalent r means r is equals to L divided by k. So that implies r is equals to L divided by. What is an effective area of the combined groups? The heat will be transferred means a cylindrical region of radius 2r. That's why I can write L divided by k into 4 pi r square. Pi 2r whole square 4 pi r square. Then substitute this value. 1 by r equal to 1 by r1 plus 1 means I can write directly. Can I write 1 by r?
K by R.
Yeah. 4 pi k r square divided by L is equals to 1 by r1 means pi r square k1 divided by L plus 3 pi r square k2 divided by L. So therefore this pi r square, this pi r square, this pi r square gets cancelled. This L gets cancelled. 4k that's equals to k1 plus 3k2. That implies k is equals to, we can write k1 plus 3k2 divided by 4. This is the equivalent thermal conductivity of the system. So got it all of you students, online students also. So what we have taken, let's say this is the combination of the two cylindrical slabs which are surrounded like this. And what is the area through which the heat is flown to the first rod means minus square. What is an area through which the heat will be flown from the second rod means listen carefully. The total area of this minus area of the first rod will give the area through which the heat will be flown from the second rod. That's equal to this R1 value, R2 value calculated. This is an equivalent rod of these two, which is what is effective radius through which the heat will be transferred. These two are that's why here also effective radius heat will be transferred is 2r, whose thermal conductivity is here and whose length is also here. And whose equivalent thermal restances are R equal to L by K. Based on this in parallel combination, we can write 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Based on this, we calculate this. So still, if you have any doubts, you can ask students regarding this. Got it? Come on.
Yes, sir.
So anybody is having any doubts, you can ask. So 14th, 15th, except 14th, 15th, and 17th, these to solve these problems, we should have an idea about integration. So let us see those problems in region or completion of the basic mathematics. So we will have some basic mathematics which is required for physics. Then after that we'll see. Tomorrow we'll start with convection and radiation rays. Okay. So right now, it's clear all of you. Okay. So okay guys, see you on tomorrow's class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.